Was there another side of an argument that was presented though?
Yes.
Well, again, I guess you should present that. If there was dialogue here from us, or again, if there were minutes, or then you need to present that. I guess that's.
Well, I guess, and the other option is we can reject minutes.
Again, the minutes are a record.
I understand what they are.
Rejecting them or approving them, I'm not sure that of the relevance. Ultimately, I think to get the most accurate minutes possible, so that we have a historical record of what transpired at the meeting. So again, if there's information or content, we've done it every meeting. I mean, I've been here for a while. That's the way it works. I've never seen anybody reject minutes. It's kind of ridiculous. If you have something that's not there that should be there, or something that's there that's not accurate, I think you should just say that.
And again, we'll go to the vote, and you apparently will accept the minutes. The other board members will have their vote.
So we need a second, that's where we're at.
Can I just ask a question before we vote? If it's rejected, then the minutes don't get changed.
And the minutes will still be the minutes.
But there's no amendments or nothing.
But they'll be, for you guys will just have, I guess, solidified that these are the official minutes for that meeting. So if you want to vote to reject them, you can. That will solidify that these are our town board historical minutes for this meeting.
No, so you can still go back and amend them.
Even if they're rejected?
Why would we be able to?
Sure, I'm just asking.
Right, the answer is yes, you can go back and amend them. But the official opinion is that the minutes were rejected. If that's the way the board chooses to vote. They can be amended. Right.
But bring your questions so I can listen, and I will listen. I mean, if you want things to be correct, that's the only way.
All right, I make a motion to retract my other motion to set, table it so that we can discuss it and amend things at a time when we're not taking up the public's time.
I'll second it. Oh, why don't we just, you want to withdraw your motion?
Yeah, you don't
Okay.
have to do another, I don't
Right.
think.
So the pending motion has been withdrawn.
Didn't I say?
Yeah.
You made a motion to withdraw, which Lou seconded, right? But that, you don't have to go through that
No,
process.
but I want to withdraw my first.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what- yeah.
fine, that's
Right.
fine.
We got you.
Okay.
All right, minutes approval, town board agenda meeting minutes from April 24th to be accepted, rejected, or tabled.
That was our agenda meeting.
Correct.
I'll make the motion.
To,
Accept.
do we have a second?
I'll second
Councilmember Edwards,
Abstain.
Councilmember Esposito,
Yes.
Councilmember Jasinski,
it. Yes.
Councilmember Myers,
Yes.
Councilmember Joyce.
Has anybody read them? Rhetorical question. So actually, I agree with the 24th meeting minutes, so I accept them. Or the answer is, or my vote is yes. Minutes approval. Do I have a motion for the town board to accept the special meeting minutes from the April 14th, 2012 special meeting that was on Saturday? Does, even though Todd and Joe were on a conference bridge, is it still?
I would think it would probably be better for them to abstain.
I wasn't on the conference.
Oh, well, I thought I wanted to keep it, so. Sorry.
Then you definitely-
Then I need to actually amend. I have to take your name out because I thought you said he was on there.
I thought it was two, and I
Okay.
cheated, and I thought I
Okay.
heard two.
So, just so you know, that I will take Todd's name off as on conference.
And Joe, you're abstaining?
Yes.
All right, so do I have a motion to accept the April 14th meeting?
This is the one we paid.
Correct.
So moved.
I'll second.
I agree.
So Councilman Evans abstaining. Esposito?
Yes.
Councilmember Myers?
Yes.
Councilmember Joyce?
Yes. Town board meeting video approval. Do I have a motion the town board approves the audio, video audio tape recording of the 4/24 town board agenda meeting upon viewing of the town supervisor or his delegate?
So moved.
I'll second.
Councilmember Edwards?
Abstain.
Councilmember Esposito?
Yes.
Councilmember Jazinski?
Yes.
Myers?
Yes.
Yes. Town board meeting minutes approval. Do I have a resolution or do I have a motion that the town board approve the video audio tape recording of the 5/28 town board meeting upon viewing of the town supervisor and or his delegate? That's tonight's meeting, just for clarification. So a motion?
So moved.
I'll second.
Councilmember Edwards?
Abstain.
Councilmember Esposito?
Yes.
Jazinski?
Yes.
Myers?
Yes.
Yes. All right, so that takes care of that part of the meeting. Let's maybe move on to old business here. George, give us a few minutes of your time.
Oh, town hall, state police, nothing new going on there, everything's been running, best of new. Water department, we completed the flushing of the system, the hydrants. The rest of the year, we just flush the dead ends about once a month. Corpro was here for 2 days, we did corrosivity tests and electrolysis studies on the water mains to see, and soil samples they took, see about, how corrosive it was and everything.
You said you flushed the dead ends, what does that mean?
We'll flush the dead ends, well, most of our system is consists of dead ends, we don't have a lot of roots. So like Vernon Drive, Birchwood, Windy Hill, Parker's Corners, once a month is a good idea to flush the water out so the water doesn't get stagnant.
If it's a dead end, it's not going anywhere, right?
There's a hydrant on the end,
Oh, okay. Okay.
so flush it out. The people aren't getting a lot of stale water or anything building up. And the end of the line there, there's an extra section of pipe and everything on the end of the lines. And sometimes you get a lot of stuff built in there, kind of siphons back up. The last few connections will siphon back into their houses.
So when you flush, you soak up the hydrant?
It goes out through the hydrant. Get running, make sure you've got chlorine residual through the end of the system.
Right. Thank you.
When do you think we'll see the report?
I don't know, the guy called me today, asked me a couple of questions, and said they're working on it. I don't know how long the soil testing is gonna take in that, so. We'll send everything probably to McDonald Engineering first, and then McDonald will forward it to us.
Why we send them?
Well, they were kind of the ones that were the go-between.
I'd like to see that too, George.
Oh, you will, everybody will see it.
Yeah. Because, you know, going out there and watching and talking with him, it was really interesting what he was doing. You know, I think that he might solve the problem for us, understanding what the problem is. So, okay.
Bob, anything for George?
All set?
Joe?
Todd?
George's report, is that what you're asking?
I'm asking if you have any questions for George.
No. Thank you, George.
All right, highway, I don't think Nick was able to make it tonight.
This is Jill,
So this is probably a good time. So I know Nick and myself, maybe a little bit with Bob. So there's been some correspondence back and forth, back Parker's Corners. And we've got some quotes, I think, back from the county about some roads. So I'll work with Nick, kind of formalize it into a document, like you take the board agreement and bring it to the board for, so I'll work with Nick to document it, kind of formalize it, even though it won't be formally a 284 agreement for the process, but to get into the practice, I guess, of, you know, bring it to the board, documenting it, et cetera. So I'll work with Nick on that.
I'm sure that's the 284 agreement of the county that means for the county.
Yeah, this is like, well,
Yeah, it's similar.
same one, yeah. So I'll work with Nick. I know he put some requests in, and we did get a response back from Ken Stephanus, I guess, about Parker's Corner. So in theory, I don't know if anybody hears from Parker's Corner, but they approve the concept of the Y or the T, changing it from a Y to a T, so that's good. So who's, or Bob, I guess. So if we can get some incident reports, that'll help tremendously, I think.
They're in the process of working on that. Since our last meeting, they were gonna be getting the incident reports, accident reports.
For both. All right, that's good. So I mean, the sooner we can get that, because I think Joe Ryan's gonna be firming up his schedule pretty quick. So if you have any influence on Mr. William there, that'd be great.
So the accident reports that are in the letter from Mr. DeStefanis, there are other accidents that are not part of that?
I don't know.
He references 4 accidents over a time period from, I guess, January 06 through June 30th of 2011. I find it hard to believe there's only 4 there.
Well, if you noticed, Todd, he didn't have any of the accidents that were on Parker's Corner. All those were at the intersection around Gifford Church Road. And he said most of those had to do with animals and stuff like that.
He said that there are near, on 406 near Parker's Point.
Near Park, yeah, but there was no record, or he mentioned nothing of the accidents on Parker's Corner, and that's the concern of the residents with the, you know, the hill there where the accidents have taken
There
place.
are potentially other incidents.
Oh, yes.
Okay, I would think so. That seems like a low number for that time span.
Oh, yeah, there's numerous other.
So I hope we use that if we can actually have documented incidents, and when we put together a cover letter, send it on to the state and the county to help build the case. So I think that's all Nick has really for the highway at this point. Code enforcement.
The month of April has been pretty, not slow, but a lot of complaints have been handled. I've been away for the last week, so I handled some of it. Of course, I was away.
You're the man.
Permits are basically moving along, not at the rate we had last year. People aren't doing much. The economy is killing.
Bob, and Dan? Joe?
No, any more solar projects going up?
Pardon me?
Any more solar projects going up?
Not here, I have a couple in Rotterdam.
Will the town need to get a permit from you if we decide to go with a solar?
Well, you have laws in place. I feel the town has to abide by what they make the residents do.
Okay. We may come to you and pick your brain.
We'll have to discuss that.
Yeah.
We have a zoning board and we have a planning board. Okay.
I've got a question. So, a number of other municipalities around the state have started considering creative solar laws that would regulate the installation of solar projects and basically codify how, when, and where you can do it. with your projects in Rotterdam and just talking to other code inspectors, is that something you would think this town should consider doing at some point in the future, or do you think it's not necessary?
Well, there's been issues, like out in Boston about the zoning, the height issues.
Right.
This town, it could be a 40-foot movable tower. But if you want one next door to you, that's fine. If not, we have to start looking at that, because zoning is the only place that you could change it. Right now, if someone wanted to put a solar panel up, it can be 40 foot high, the movable ones.
Right, so what some other towns have done is put a
Height
law, a
limits.
local law into place which identifies or describes specifically when, where, and how you can do a large size solar installation.
Right, you can change the setback ruling on that.
And you
I mean,
can
right now, an accessory structure has to be 50 feet from the property line. If it's a ground mount unit, that's considered an accessory structure. That's 50 feet from your property line.
So do you have access to other town laws that you could pull in for samples?
I don't know, I know in
I've got-
Rotterdam, we haven't put any in, but Peter's aware of some towns that are, I know out in Clifton Park, they've had some issues, because there's covenants. This town, I think, does Willow Run have covenants on any of their parcels, Pat?
I'm sorry, what?
Willow Run, there's no covenants in there,
I'm not sure.
okay.
That was before my
That
time.
would be the only other issue, if any of the developments that were issued had covenants, where some municipalities, or not municipalities, some residential areas, you can't even have a garden shed in your backyard. So you'd have to look at different municipalities and what they're looking at, much like we did with the wind. On Mathis wrote the wind for Dwaynesburg, Rotterdam, and Princetown.
Yeah, and that's basically, it would be very similar to something like that, where it would just regulate when, where, and how you can do it. Probably require anybody wanting to get something more than just the panels on their roof to get a special use permit for it.
A roof installation is basically part of the house, so that doesn't have any factor. It's the ground mount units or the wind generators, not so much the wind propellers that are the generators. They can be 35, 40 foot tall, you know, and they're residential. You can get them as low as 2 kW up to 10 or 12. And I mean, they're not that loud. Maple Ski Ridge put one in, it's only a 2 kW, but there's some noise to it. You know, you wouldn't want something right in your backyard, with your neighbor. You know,
So-
Princetown is fortunate, you're not that close together where other municipalities are.
So that's not Rotterdam, right, Maple Ski Ridge?
Yes, that
So-
was put in Rotterdam.
Did
They got a special use permit for it.
So you can get copies of some?
Yeah, the town of North Tonawanda out near Buffalo has one. We can do it. It's not, I don't think it's urgent, and it's the kind of thing where if someone comes in and decides they want to do this, we can put a moratorium on it and consider it at that point. It's not something that's of
Right.
immediate concern, I don't think, but it's something I can pull up and you guys can take a look at and decide if it's something you want.
There's a few solar companies right now, Solar City being one of them, is really pounding the streets locally. 2 or 3 just installations in Rotterdam the past week or 2.
Really?
Just did an inspection today, almost on the border of Princetown.
It's becoming more
They're
common.
popping up,
Yeah.
they're very common now. Because there
Well,
is,
that particular company, I've heard,
well, and again, they're cheap. They're not
no,
that expensive.
that's why you really gotta look close, and they're
Right.
very aggressive. This is the
They're-
book that I have.
Yes, they're very aggressive.
And if you wanna make the sale, close it, and then to hell with it after that. So, you know, that's,
Well, that's what I'm saying. People are doing their homework.
Right.
A lot of people are.
yeah.
Yeah, when we met with, Bill and I met with the solar company over here that was gonna do the installation here on this building in the state police barracks. You mentioned that where they wanted to place it, there was the two lots were separated or something? you said?
Right, the police barracks and this are in 2 separate lots, correct? You own 2 parcels of land, so you have to abide by your zoning.
So setback, that would violate setback over there.
Unless we did something.
Unless you
with it.
apply for a variance, or if there was something written into the law.
Okay.
To merge the 2 properties? is it?
Well, you can't merge 2 properties, you can't have 2 principal uses on one property, so you have to leave it separate. You'd have to apply for a variance. much like a flashing sign. You know, we discussed that before, but it wasn't a flashing discussion. But anything I feel, and it's my opinion, is if you have the law in place, then you abide by it. Whether you're the town or, because,
If we're entertaining another bid, and they want to put it on the north side of Town Hall, ground mount system,
right,
and you're gonna have the same solar exposure,
correct,
but, see, now, I'm really glad that we brought this up, because,
yeah,
you know, this, it seemed to me, not knowing that there were 2 lots,
right.
that we have a border that we have to.
You have to
respect.
abide by.
Yes, I understand.
That was the most advantageous spot that this company that we met with wanted to put it was over here.
Why? So it would service the troopers?
Yes,
And-
because we were looking at
Correct.
doing both buildings.
Right,
So, okay,
okay.
thank you.
Anybody else?
Thank you, Dan.
Darla.
I spent my entire day today and will be spending all day tomorrow at the DCO conference sponsored by New York State Ag Markets and the town of Dillon. Very beneficial, talking about different aspects of sheltering and law enforcement and dangerous dogs.